Hey everyone, it's Jill the Wandering Stamper coming to you from my brand new workspace. If you watched my last video, I gave you a little quick tour. I mean, it's not a very big space, but it has all of my stamping supplies in one spot. So super excited about that. It's so much more enjoyable to craft when I have everything I need in one place. So love it. I've been crafting for 5 years, kind of with everything tucked all over the RV. Now I have a dedicated space and a hidden office to put all of my craft materials in. So super excited about that. Today we are going to make a gorgeous fancy gatefold using some products from the new mini catalog and celebration, and I'm going to show you how you can mix and match some of your products to create some really cool cards. So give me a moment to turn the camera down and we'll get started. Thanks for joining me. Today we are going to do some crafting with the Cake Celebration stamp set and dies. These are an online exclusive that was just released. Love this set. It comes with lots of dies to build this cake, lots of little flowers, everything to just create such a sweet card. But I'm doing it with a little twist. Rather than use other paper, I'm actually pairing it with the, what's it called? I have it right in front of me. I'm pairing it with the Wildflower Birthday Designer Series paper. This is in the mini catalog, the brand new mini catalog. I love this paper. It's got a couple sheets of punch out dies, which I put in a little envelope. It has 2 sheets of tags or pockets or whatever you want to make these. And then gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous birthday paper. So lots and lots of patterns. It's very pretty, very feminine. I love the gold. It's a specialty paper, so it's got some gold in it. So if you like this paper, go check it out in the mini catalog. It's really pretty, and it's typically paired with this birthday celebration stamp set, which is also in the mini catalog. I love this set. We're not using it today, but what I love about this is the sayings will go hand in hand with this set, but also the dies have numbers. So if you've been wanting to put numbers on your cards, like maybe it's an anniversary card or a birthday card and you want to put an age or a anniversary year or something like that, it has all these numbers that you can die cut. I love that. It's also got these little tassels so you can create your own little banners, and the banners match some of the designer series paper. So this is a great set. I thought I was going to use it today, but then I really wanted to play around with the cake celebrations, and happily enough, they work together really well. So I wanted to point that out. So you can check it out. It is in the mini catalog. That will be available just for a few months. So you want to grab it while it's available if you love it. If you love it, grab it because it will be gone eventually. It won't stay around forever. All right, so today we're making a fancy gatefold card. Super simple, but very, very pretty. And I'm going to make a couple. I'm going to show you 2 other samples, totally different looks. But I want to show you how easy this card is to make. So let's get started. Move some of my stuff out of the way. I got the inspiration to make this card because I was making my mom a birthday card. Her birthday's this week, and she'll be 77, and I wanted to make her a special card. And so this is the card design that I decided to make her, and I will show you that card that I made her as one of my samples. So you want to start out with a piece of designer series paper that's 5.5 by 12 inches. So this is already cut 5.5 by 12. This is not directional, so it didn't really matter which way I cut it. And I love the reverse side of this. It's soft seafoam, which is really, really pretty. I love that color. So once you have your 5.5 by 12, you're going to do some scoring. So you're going to score it at 2 inches, 4 inches, 8 inches, and 10 inches. Now, if you want, you can just do 2 inches and 4 inches, turn it around, and do 2 inches and 4 inches again. So 2 inches, 4 inches. So you can do it that way, or you can do 2, 4, 8, 10, whichever way works. All right. So once you have that, what you're going to do is you're going to do a little marking because we are going to do some cutting. So first of all, you want to decide what will be the inside of your card and what will be the outside. So I decided I wanted the soft seafoam on the inside. And it's going to be folded accordion style. Excuse me. So we're going to make a little notch on our score line. This is the first and last score line. So this will be the 2-inch score line. Where did I put that mark? It's hard to see. This is the 2-inch. Sometimes it's easier to just do some folding so you can see your score lines. So we're going to do it at the 2-inch score line, and then we're going to do it at the 10-inch score line. Okay, so I just put a little tick mark so I can see it. And then you want to measure 2 3/4 inches from the top. So I'm going to get my little ruler here, and I'm going to measure down 2 3/4 inches, and I'm going to put a little tick mark with my pencil. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. Hopefully I'm in your camera view. I may not even be in there. I'm getting adjusted to my new work area, so bear with me. It's a little different than before. All right, this is my wonky little ruler that I've literally broken 3 times and glued back together. Travel can be rough. Okay, so once you have your tick marks, so I've got one here and one here, and then I've got one up here on my score line and one down here. So what you're going to do is you're going to match up your score lines, and you're going to cut that away. So I am just putting my score line with my tick mark. I'm going to anchor my cutting blade in the middle, and then I'm just going to give it a trim. Okay, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. I'm marking it at my score line, right where the cutting blade will go, and then lining up my tick mark. So your score line to your tick mark. And then you want to anchor your cutting blade in the middle because you don't want to wrinkle your paper. Okay, and cut that. So what you're left with is a slice and a slice. Okay, so we're going to set that aside for a second. You want to save these 2 pieces because you are going to use these. So we're going to set those aside. And now we want to create the panels for the inside of the card. So I'm going to need a piece of basic white that's 3 5/8 by 5 1/8. So let's see, 3 5/8, 5 1/8. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a piece of soft sea foam because I want to incorporate my colors of my designer series paper. So let me just see if I have any scraps. Looks like I have a scrap I could use. Use that. And I'm using the soft sea foam because that is the color that's also in the designer series paper. So that one's going to be 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to do 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, which this happens to be 5 1/4, so perfect. I love when that works out because I didn't check it ahead of time. So that will be the inside, and you'll just have a little narrow margin. So we're going to set that aside. Now, for the front of the card, you're going to decide what you want to do. I typically like to die cut pieces for the front of the card. You could do any shape, rectangles, circles, squares, diamonds. You can use dies. You could just cut square paper. You could do anything you want. So what I have done is use the Everyday Arches dies. Let me pull those out. So these come with this is the Everyday Arches. I believe these are an online exclusive. Love these. So many great sayings. I'm going to be working on a graduation card for my niece. She just graduated from college, and I'm going to be using this to make her a card. It also coordinates with the Everyday Skies designer series paper. If you haven't seen this paper, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It's just all kinds of skies. And then on the reverse side are all kinds of backgrounds. Very, very useful paper. I love this paper. But the really cool thing is the Everyday Arches dies that coordinate with it, because you can use these all year round for so many things. This works great for anything that has a scene on it. It works great for layering, making rainbows, just
so many things. You can cut them. You don't have to use the whole thing. You can run it through and then chop it, make it like a rainbow. There's just a ton of uses for these dies. So these will be some that I will never give up. So I pulled these, and what I did was I grabbed 3 sizes that layered together. So in basic white, I did a larger one, and then look at this paper. This is the glimmer, the gold glimmer paper. I'm not even sure if it's current, but I still had some, and I love how it has flecks of gold. It's a vellum, and it's super pretty, and I thought it would be really elegant on this card. So I went 1 arch smaller and die cut that, and then I did a 3rd arch, 1 smaller again, and I did that in basic white. Okay, so that is all the pieces for this card. There's not a lot of cutting. Now, what I did is I went ahead and stamped the cake stand that's in here. I stamped it in Versamark, and I embossed it in gold embossing powder because I wanted to pull in that gold glimmer. So I went ahead and did that ahead of time. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can use any color. The other card sample, I just used basic gray for it and stamped that cake stand in basic gray. It worked out perfect. Brown will work, gold will work. So many things work. So we've got that. And then I have lots of little pieces to show you that I've already die cut. I like to die cut a little bit ahead of time because I know you know how to die cut, and I don't want to bore you with that. All right, so how do we assemble this card? So remember, we've got score lines. This is 5.5 by 12. We cut the sides, and then we have a 2, a 4, an 8, and a 10-inch score line. So we're going to go ahead and take our bone folder, and we're going to go to the middle score line and just fold that in, just like so, and give it a good burnish. And then we're going to fold back the other direction and give it a burnish, okay? And we're going to do the exact same thing with the other side. Super simple card. And it's a great way to use up designer series paper. If something's retired and you have a few sheets left of it and you just want to use it up, this is a great way to use it because you can do so many things with it. And the contrasting colors on this paper make it perfect. So I have sometimes forgotten, and I'll show you a sample I forgot. I sometimes forget to put these strips down. It's okay if you don't because it's still gorgeous. But these 2 triangles that we cut from up here will actually fit perfectly down here. So the first thing I'm going to do, since I'm flipping it over, there's like a little ridge on it. So I just take my bone folder and get rid of that ridge because that bothers me. And I'm going to take some liquid glue, and I'm just going to glue this down. And it's really super simple. You just line up all these edges flush, just like that. And then do the same thing for the other side. And it just makes it kind of look like a diamond. And again, if you don't do that, it's okay. It still looks good. But it adds a little extra kind of pizzazz to your card. All right, so I've got those pieces glued down. So now that's what it looks like. So it kind of looks triangular, right? So that's the base of our card. Super simple. All right, so now I like to go ahead and do my inside so it's out of the way. This is going to be a birthday card. So I went ahead and set it up. I'm using my Misty because you know how I struggle with getting things straight. So I've got this set up already so it's nice and straight, and it says happy birthday. So I'm going to grab, what color do I want to put my happy birthday in? Let's just go ahead and stick with the soft seafoam and see how that looks. So I'm going to ink this soft seafoam up, stamp it down. See, that is pretty pale. So I think we're going to go with a different color. So let me grab I have my little chamois out today. So let me just clean this off. This is great to clean these off because then you don't have to take them off your Misty. So let's go ahead and pick a different color. I think pecan pie whoops, seems to match nicely with this paper. You could also use blueberry bushel. I think I'm going to go with the pecan pie because it kind of reminds me of the gold that's on there. You could also emboss this. That would be super pretty. I'm going to go ahead and press this down. This is why I love the Misty. If it's not perfect, you can do it again. That looks really good. So I'm going to just wipe this off because if I don't, I'll forget. And I'm wearing all kind of ink today because I've been crafting a lot today. So I'm a messy crafter. Anybody else out there a messy crafter? I'm a very messy crafter. Okay, that's out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these two layers using some liquid glue. Man, I'm living dangerously. I don't even have my silicone craft sheet. It's sitting right next to me. I don't know why I'm not using it. Probably why I have glue everywhere today. All right. I am just, because I flipped my paper over, there's little ridges, so just cleaning those up. All right, I'm going to close the stamp pad because that's dangerous. Now, this is going to get glued on the inside of our card. But one thing I did grab is some of the die cuts from this paper. I really like this flower, and I like these little leaves. So I think those are going to get added to our piece. So let's go ahead and add those before we glue this all together. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue here, and I'm going to attach it to my flower like this. And then I'm going to do the same thing to my little piece here. It's just easier for me than trying to get them all to cooperate in the direction that I want them to go. So this works better for me. It's really warm in this office right now. One thing I'm finding out is it's warmer in here with the door shut than out in the rest of the RV. So I'm gonna have to yell at my husband to put the air conditioner on. Okay. Boy, I'm living dangerously right now. I am just gonna put this piece right here. Look how pretty. It's a very simple way to embellish your cards. All the work's done for you. All right, let me go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to show you the card I made for my mom. I put a little spin on it, and you'll see why. And I love how it came out, and I can't wait to give it to her. Hopefully I can see her. I've got to, if you watch my last video, I have had COVID. My husband and I got COVID for the first time ever. And I think we're good. We just got to take a test and make sure before we see her. So don't want to get her sick. All right, so for layering these, I'm going to go ahead and just put a stream of liquid glue kind of where I know it's going to be covered up by cardstock because you can see it a little bit. And that's a good way to cover that up and hide it. So just layering that on, super easy to do. Actually, you can't see that glue, so you could probably, that actually looks pretty good. You can't really see it. All right, and then this next piece is going to be glued over the front. Now you could do all the decorating on this smallest piece if you want before you attach it. I'm not doing any stamping directly on it, so I'm not going to worry about it. If I were stamping, I would probably do all my stamping before I put these 3 layers together. Because if you mess anything up, you don't want to have to do all your layers over again. All right, that looks good. So before you came on, I cut some pieces, managed not to lose them. So these are my cake layers, and I did some stamping on those. There are some little texture stamps for that, and then there's icing that you can die cut. So I die cut that from white. And then I grabbed one of the flowers from the die pack, And then I die cut this little piece, this little banner piece from the dies in that same glimmer vellum paper. So those are my pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by, I'm going to put dimensionals on my large piece and then have my, so it kind of looks like a bigger layer, and then glue down my small piece. And the way I'm going to do that seems a little odd, but the reason I'm doing it, I'm going to put glue dots on it, but I'm actually going to glue in place my smaller piece first because I don't want it to get caught. And I can't tuck it where I want to tuck it. So that'll make sense in a second. I'm just putting some dimensional, oh, didn't grab the dimensional. Putting some dimensionals on this. And I'm just going to put one in the middle. Okay, I'm going to set those aside. Take that paper off. All right, so I'm kind of, I probably should have done this first, but I'm kind of going to decide where I want to put this. So I think I'm going to put it about like that. So what I like to do, it made more sense when I did it the first time, but I put a little line here because it's not going to show. And so now I know where to put my top layer. So I'm going to go ahead and add some liquid glue to that top layer. I'm going to put it right there. I'm kind of trying to be mindful of where the middle of my cake pan is too. So now that that's in place, I can flip this over and add the rest of the cake like that. So it just made sure, it just helped me make sure that I put everything in the right place. All right, so now I'm going to glue down my frosting. This is the beauty of this glue press because I don't have to, most of the time I don't even mess with adhesive sheets for these pieces that are little. I just use the precision glue press and it gives me exactly what I need to put on my card. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing for the smaller layer. This really is such an easy card. It's so easy. You could just really spend your time playing with dies and embellishing because there's not a lot of assembly. I kind of like that sometimes. Look how pretty. All right, now we have this little piece that's going to go up top. This may be a good piece to, excuse me, to use adhesive sheets for, but like I said, I can get the tiniest little drops of glue out of this thing. So we're going to go for it. Just like that. See how little? Just tiny little glue dots, or glue spots, or whatever you want to call them. So now I'm just going to put this down, kind of in the middle, as close to the middle as I can, and just give it a second to dry. It's vellum, so it goes on pretty easy. Look how pretty that is. And I have a little glue there, but what I could do is take my glue eraser when I get done and just kind of wipe that away. All right, so the last thing I think we're going to do is add a little flower. I was going to put a candle there and I decided I think a flower would look really pretty. Question is, do we use a dimensional? Let's use a dimensional. Why not? Because they're right in front of me. All right. So Put a little dimensional right here and make that pop up. So as you can see, fairly simple, but very elegant. All right, so now that that's done, all we have to do is attach this to the front of the card. Look how pretty that is. Now we could add a sentiment, some words, whatever we want, but sometimes simple is perfect. So what I like to do is kind of figure out where I'm going to place it and sort of mark it with my finger and then just put some glue down. This out of the way. This usually works pretty good for me. So now that I've got that down, I'll go ahead and pop it back in place. Adjust it just a little bit. Just like that. Look how pretty. And I usually check it, no glue. So now the last thing I did was I created this little bow and I didn't know for sure if I'd use it. This is brand new. This is the, what is it called? It's the gold open weave trim. Look at this stuff. It's really super cool and it makes the best bows because it's so movable that you can kind of make chubby little bows really, really simple. So I think that's going to have a bow. It's a cool looking bow. So let's go ahead and grab a glue dot and put that on there. Just got to figure out which side of the bow you want to show. Okay. And we'll just pop this right on the bottom. Just like that. So there you go. Look how pretty this card is. It only took minutes to create. Very sweet card. And it opens up. It sits up on the counter, so pretty. Either way, I love the glimmer. The glimmer just is everything in this card, I think. And it just simply says happy birthday and you have plenty of room to write. Love this card. So again, if you wanted to add a greeting on the front, you could, but I just like it like that. So let me show you the one I made for my mom for her birthday. I glammed this one up just a little bit more. I used a different piece of designer series paper. I embossed the little, I don't know, I call them fireworks. Where did I put my stamps there? You know, I make myself crazy sometimes. Huh. Oh, no, that's right. Right here, right next to me. So there's these little sparkles, and I think they go with the candles, but I just stamped the two different size sparkles on there and embossed them with gold embossing powder. Super pretty. And then I did my layers just plain pink and added the flowers, and I stamped the base in basic gray. And then inside I added the slice of cake. That is another embellishment that you get with the die pack, but look what I did for the inside. Instead of just having one layer, I made it open. And all you have to do is, instead of making the inside 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 for the color piece, you make it 3 3/4 by 10 1/2, and then you score it at 5 1/4. Perfect, right? So closes up really nicely. And I think my mom's going to love it. I started to die cut a 77 to put on here, and I thought, I don't need to rub it in. So there's my mom's card. Now let me show you the next card I made. This card I made from the Celebrations items. This is the Pick a Season stamp set. This is one of the free items in Celebration. And I believe this paper called Bloom Impressions is also a free product in the Celebration catalog. So here is the stamp set that is free. And here is the designer series paper that's free. So this card was made with free products. And I just used the same colors in the paper. So I used the peach pie and shy shamrock for my tree. And then I used the documenting the day stamps, which are also a free item in celebration. I love these words. They're great. The only change I made is the word day was too big for my little panel. So I used my mini alphabet dies and just cut out a D, A, Y and just glued it on there. So it says, oh, what a day. Super easy card. It only took minutes to make. And that's all with 3 products. And check out that paper because it's so pretty. And then my last card, and this may be my favorite, is this card. Look how fun this is. This uses, we had lots of color going on with this card. This uses the Ocean Friends stamp set that is part of the mini catalog. Look at this stamp set. It's so freaking cute. And the dies are fabulous. I love the coral, the seagrass. You've got waves. You've got little starfish. So a lot of fun to be had with this. But the paper, let me tell you, this paper is so pretty. I don't know when Stampin' Up! Has come out with such bright, happy paper in a while. Look at this paper. I mean, it's so gorgeous. Oh, and by the way, the dies will cut these critters out. So you don't even technically have to stamp. You can just die cut these. But super vibrant paper. I love this paper. And it's just a lot of fun. So that is what I use to create it. I use lots of colors of ink. And I stamped all my little critters, die cut the grass and the coral and the little starfish and just layered it on into a scene. Now on this card, I completely forgot to put my little triangles on the bottoms, but that's okay. It looks great the way it is. And inside, I just simply stamped love you and then added some more little critters. Super fun card. I love this card so much. So this is a very fun fold. It's simple, but it really is eye-catching, and you can make it elegant. You can make it whimsical. You could make it masculine, feminine. It's just very versatile. So there you go. Which one's your favorite? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you don't already, so that you can learn how to make all these cards every week. Also, I'll have a link below to my online store and to my blog where you can get all of the cutting and scoring instructions. So whenever you want to make this card, you go down there, go to the link, click on it. It'll give you everything you need to know. And I list all of the products that I use to create each one of these cards. So I'm Jill the Wandering Stamper. I hope you have a chance to craft today, and I hope you enjoy the mini catalog and the celebration time, because it truly is a time to celebrate. I will see you next time. Have a great day.